Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto live stream. And I know many people will not get a notification for this stream, but there's still some very important information that I have to give out to everybody. So hopefully, a lot of you guys will still see it. If you can, make sure you share it over on Twitter to help some people out because it is very, very important that we cover this. So, guys, a new SEC Ripple lawsuit update. All right, this news just came out. I retweeted it after like 30 seconds or so because I was really on it. Breaking: defendants request, defendants being Ripple, for documents reflecting the SEC's trading pre-clearance decisions with respect to the SEC employees' transactions in Bitcoin, Ether, or XRP, and annual certifications concerning SEC employees' XP holdings is denied. So we got to talk about this because the way it currently stands, I'm calling BS. Because, guys, the summary of what we are witnessing right now is that the SEC and whether they are holding XRP and whether they thought they can or cannot hold XRP, all that stuff, Ripple's not going to get the info. News is asking, is this good or bad? It's actually debatable. Is the motion itself being denied good? No, it's very, very bad. But what does it mean? Well, it means that the judge thinks that whether or not the SEC was actually trading XRP or whether any SEC employees right now are holding XRP, that it's not relevant or something along those lines. Now, why we can most likely read in here, I haven't really seen any update on court listener just quite yet, so he gets these updates fast, all right? And so most likely we are seeing this information before the majority of the people are. And guys, if you're watching this right now, make sure you press that like button. I pour my heart and soul into making these videos as fun, as enjoyable, and as fast as possible for you all. So make sure you help the channel out by pressing that button. It helps me out a ton. I should also quickly share it over in the alerts telegram because I promised you guys I was going to do that. And I'm not sure I'm going to do timestamps for this video because we're only covering one subject, which is still very important though. So I'm not exactly sure I'm going to do the timestamps thing. I guess maybe I'll put the time right now, about, let's say 2:30. Oh, no, I messed up a little bit. Let me see here. Okay, there we go. I do timestamps for 2:30 or let's 2:45 because then we're going to start reading into it. All right, let's get it going. So, Sarah Nedburn, United States Magistrate Judge, said the defendants moved to compel the SEC to produce documents relating to the SEC's trading policies governing digital assets. So again, if we want to know what that one is, or if you want to know what that one is, it is basically Ripple requesting for the SEC to tell them and tell the world if they or if they are not holding XRP, or most importantly to my own knowledge, is their deliberations. So were they thinking it was fine to hold XRP as of 2019, for example, 2020 and whatnot? So I'm actually really surprised that the judge kind of got rid of this motion. That I'm really kind of confused as to why she would not allow for this. It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it will as we read further into the story. So specifically, defendants seek production of one, either anonymized or aggregated documents reflecting the SEC's trading preclearance decisions with respect to its employees' transactions in Bitcoin, Ether, or XRP. And two, either redacted or aggregated annual certifications concerning SEC employees' XRP holdings. The motion is denied. And guys, let me quickly know in the chat box, does this make sense to you? I'm not exactly sure how or why something like this would be denied. It really is confusing to me. And I don't have that often in the lawsuit here. But guys, in about 2 days from now, we'll be talking to Jeremy Hogan, who is a lawyer, very well acquainted with this whole Ripple and XRP situation. I'll definitely be asking him what he thinks about this decision, because to me, it makes absolutely no sense. The court previously ordered the SEC to produce trading policies regarding digital assets. And accordingly, the SEC produced a January 16, 2018 memorandum that provided ethics guidance to SEC employees on digital assets. Defendants represent, and the SEC does not dispute, that before the issuance of this memorandum, the SEC had no trading policy regarding digital assets. So this part here, as a small conclusion, is basically, as far as I know, right, that the judge expects or assumes that there wasn't really any rules on crypto trading before April 13, 2018, and the SEC doesn't object that part. So from that perspective, what do they have, Ripple, to gain with this, right? And I'm seeing somebody in the chat box here say something about ethics. Soul says, I don't understand how the ethics argument can be that strong. I guess we'll see about that in just a second. Let's quickly move on. So, or actually that there was not basically any rules before January 16th, I believe it actually is. This April 13th actually refers to when XRP was added to the watch list. And again, guys, Ripple's trying to argue that any sale of XRP or any purchase of XRP cannot be a security, or at least Ripple couldn't have reasonably known that it was a bad thing, because if the SEC members could trade it, then how can you say that the public should have known too, if even the SEC employees or the SEC as an entity did not know? So April, XRP was added to the watch list, a list of entities potentially subject to supplemental ethics rules. See idea to blah, blah, blah. Defendants further represent that the SEC counsel stated during a meet and confer on August 25th, in 2021, that after the formal order of investigation was issued as to Ripple on March 9, 2019, the SEC employees could no longer trade XRP. So once more, this is the judge speaking, and she is saying that once more, it is now formally on paper that from March 9th, 2019, the SEC employees could no longer trade XRP. So the only thing I am guessing right now is that the judge finds that there's enough facts on the table. She has noticed now as well, okay, so from January 2018, there were not any rules for the SEC in terms of crypto. And from March 9th in 2019, they could not trade XRP anymore. And so that's clear. What else do you want? That's again what I'm kind of guessing from this. Otherwise, it's very strange that they denied the request. But maybe it's because the fact that Ripple really needs to know are already kind of on the table. According to defendants, the SEC has refused to produce any documents bearing on this statement. Rule 26 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure provides that parties may obtain discovery regarding non-privileged matters that are relevant to any party's claim or defense and proportional to the needs of the case. Considering a list of factors including, quote, the importance of the discovery in resolving the issue and whether the burden or expense of the proposed discovery outweighs the likely benefits. So this again means following the rules, they can make a request to get information as long as it's not privileged, meaning it's kind of private, and as long as the benefit. So for example, if the SEC had to scan 100,000 documents just to see if one person on one day ever was thinking about XRP, that type of stuff, of course, the burden of reading through 100,000 documents is way more than the likely benefit of that small piece of information, right? But if it's, for example, to expose some really major changes, then again, things can be done. Defendants, again, Ripple are the defendants, don't forget that. Somebody says, skip, just go to the own document for yourself then if you don't want the entire thing. I think a lot of people want to know what's going on and don't understand the entire lawsuit. So I'm trying to, kind of build this stuff up a little bit, or I guess go over the full thing. It's only like 4 pages. Defendants argue that individual trading decisions will, at a minimum, expose the lack of clarity regarding XRP status and whether the SEC believed XRP to be a security. Such evidence is arguably, or would arguably undermine the SEC's allegations that the individual defendants acted recklessly and would bolster the defendants' fair notice defense. Defendants contend that they are entitled to know whether the SEC permitted its employees to sell, buy, or hold XRP as market participants during the relevant period. And again, I am completely on Ripple's side here. I don't know anybody that wouldn't be on theirs. It's, in my own opinion, completely normal that they would want to know whether or not the SEC was holding all of this and whether or not the SEC themselves knew, because that's basically what they're trying to figure out. The SEC responds that the pre-clearance decision does not involve any determination by the SEC Ethics Council that a trade complies with the security laws. Indeed, the produced policy expressly confirms as much in bold. And this is actually, I think, the key reason, now reading it. So what the judge and what they all say is, Whatever is allowed by the SEC in this ethics perspective, which again, we personally, well, previously I should say, disregarded a little bit. The SEC basically said as a defense, well, what we have in terms of the guidance, it doesn't actually have anything to do with whether or not something is actually a security or not. And the judge is now kind of backing them up that the decision doesn't expressly, one-to-one state that. The SEC further contends that its employees' trading activity reports are presumptively confidential. I disagree with that. Because the preclearance process does not consider whether an asset is a security, defendants have not shown that such individual trading decisions bear on the issues in this case. That is again confusing. How is that the case? I mean, they're saying here because the preclearance process, which again is what basically happened when XRP's decision was made within the SEC, that's the preclearance process, does not consider whether an asset is a security. The defendants have not shown that such individual trading decisions bear on the issues in this case. How can that be? This is phenomenally stupid. Because obviously, even if the rules don't necessitate that something is a security or not, if the SEC employees, which are also people, I mean, they're not freaking anything else than that. They're not rocks, they're not gods. They're just people. If they themselves, with the supposed, at least a little bit above market intelligence level, right? Because, I mean, SEC employees are not stupid. If you're working there, you most likely have a little bit more insight on the markets and on what a security is than a normal market participant. If any of those guys bought or sold XRP, even if the determination, blah, 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 ethics council, blah, 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 doesn't matter to me. If any of those guys bought or sold or, did anything about XRP or held it just generally, it's very important to Ripple because those guys are above market intelligence. And those guys are not intentionally going to buy something that is going to be illegal, right? But if they, for example, bought XRP in 2018 or were holding XRP in the big bull run, there's definitely a couple of arguments to be made on the Ripple side. I'm seeing Niels van Horn says, I wish I never bought this coin. Oh, some people in the chat box are tired of XRP, huh? Very interesting. Let's see. Let's actually get a poll going real quick. I'm going to quickly get a poll going here. If you guys are bullish. Because I'm seeing a lot of negativity. Let's see. Yes. No. Let's see the chat box. I think, however, that it's usually just way more people that are negative that speak out. And that the bullish people just kind of hide away. Because the chat box here, I'm seeing a lot of negative people. All right, which again is completely fine, but now the numbers show that 80% of the people are still bullish and about 20% of the people are bearish, which I guess is actually a pretty nice statistic. Huh. Okay, 85% bullish. Let me quickly put in the timestamp here for myself again, about 12:40. So I know that I put a poll in, so I can actually put the timestamps in properly. Yeah, so I'm going to say it's about 4/5 that are bullish still. And Yannick says being bullish doesn't mean not being fed up. Yeah, but if you're tired of it, that's something else, right? If you're tired, it doesn't mean you actually don't want to hold the thing anymore, if you get me. You know what I mean? Kind of. Whatever, man. You're right. Maybe I should have asked a different question, but very peculiar. I'm still sticking with it, man. I'm not giving up, but hey, that's just me. Let's see where we were at in this document. So I think we were here, right? Because the clearance process does not consider whether an asset is security, defendants have not shown that it's necessary. Although the SEC's policies or absence of them may provide relevant evidence related to fair notice or recklessness, I think the last one specifically, how an ethics council viewed a trading decision is more likely a cause confusion or create collateral litigation disputes. Okay? Interesting thought process. Moreover, because the data related to ethics council preclearance decisions is not sufficiently probative, it cannot justify the intrusion into SEC's employees' financial conduct, even if anonymized or aggregated, which is just like a policy thing, I would say whatever the SEC basically... Wesley here says, hey, Dusty, why don't you speak simpler instead of trying to come across like a genius/legal? We know courts and lawyers have one goal: to make dollars. Well, I have no idea what you mean with that, my friend. I always say I'm not a legal advisor. I don't know the law very well. I'm not a lawyer. I try to talk with them to get more information, but ultimately, all we can do is try to deduct things from everything we've read. Not a professional, not an expert. I try my best just to make things a little bit more clear for people that might know less, to try and inform. Will never say I'm an expert. Never try to claim that. Never would try. But I don't know what you mean, my friend. And again, why I'm reading those things sometimes is because I always appreciate the feedback. If you guys say, hey, maybe the videos would be better this way or that way, I will try to look at it because maybe it would be. But yeah, I think this is a good way what we're doing right now, though. All right, let's see. So, again, I kind of disagree with that. I would say the SEC employees is trading specifically in an aggregate form if anonymized. What that means is that, for example, the SEC has to give over a list of what members traded XRP to the court and to the public, but then in numbers. For example, okay, 3 people traded it, period. Not not William Hinman traded 10,000 XRP on the 1st of September, 1994. You get the picture, right? Not too specific, just some aggregate form of one person, 2020. I mean, that's not that much an intrusion of privacy, if you ask me. But apparently, the Privacy Act protects information received directly or indirectly from a system of records like the SEC Personal Trading Compliance System. While such information may be released pursuant to court order, in making a decision to release such information, the court must accord proper weight on the policies underlying statutory protections and compare them with the factors supporting discovery in a particular lawsuit. As discussed above, defendants have not shown that such disclosure is justified here, especially since the SEC's financial disclosure policies and 2018 memorandum apply to all SEC employees and their immediate family. As to the annual certifications that defendants seek, Congress has presumptively prohibited disclosures of such financial information through federal privacy statutes and regulations in order to maintain government employees. Privacy, okay, and then it says between brackets, financial disclosures by executive. This is, by the way, it's not the easiest thing to read because it's actually a picture of a document, and so it might be blurry for y'all, but it's actually very, very blurry for me, all right? Just quickly letting you guys know. So some of the letters like I'm or in, I can mess up a little bit because it's very, very difficult to see. I'm not sure how blurry it is for you guys. Maybe my screen, which is kind of strange, makes it worse. Could be. It said here between brackets or parentheses, financial disclosures by executive branch employees less senior than public filers, quote, shall be confidential and shall not be disclosed to the public, end quote. And then another parentheses, describing goals and contours of confidential financial reporting systems, and end of the parentheses. Section 107A leaves no discretion on this issue with the agencies, end quote. Both the forms filed by government employees and in form obtained from those forms are protected. Okay, it just basically talks about what stuff is protected from the SEC side. Not that important to us, it seems. Information transferred from Form 450 and another confidential under 5 US, I have no idea what that all means. Defendants are not entitled to SEC employees' annual certifications of XRP purchases, sales, and holdings. Defendants' request for documents reflecting the SEC's trading clearance decisions with respect to SEC employees' transactions in Bitcoin, Ether, or XRP, and annual certificate. Okay, let's actually do that one again, because this is, I guess, the conclusion, huh? Defendants are not entitled, because of the rules that were quoted that I do not know about before, annual certifications of XRP purchases, sales, or holdings of any SEC employee. Defendants' request for documents reflecting the SEC's trading clearance decisions with respect to SEC employees' transactions in Bitcoin, Ether, or XRP, and annual certifications concerning SEC employees' XP holdings is denied. The SEC is directed to provide defendants any documentation supporting SEC's counsel statement during the August 25th, 2021 meet and confer, after the formal order of investigation was issued as to Ripple on March 9th, 2019. SEC employees could no longer trade XRP, so ordered. Okay. So I'm going to quickly put in my time slot here, about 18:20, that we start the conclusion. Now let me conclude it once more, the official formal conclusion for everybody. What we've read just now is Ripple asking the court to give over whether or not SEC employees could trade, buy, hold, whatever XRP. The judge, however, said 2 major things. 1, there's already been a conclusion of most important things that you need to know in the aggregate form. And 2, if you want the details of it, like, for example, who held what and how much, That's an intrusion of privacy that we cannot give without proper reason that you didn't supply. So once more, it basically says right here, the SEC employees could not trade XRP anymore after March 9, 2019, which I still think Ripple can use in court because they can always still rely on this saying, hey, why was this determination only made in 2019 in March or at maximum 2018 and before that it wasn't? Now they might again come up with the idea of, yeah, but the Ethics Council doesn't render anything a security or blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. It's still very strange that the SEC was investigating Ripple for such a long time and only years after, or at least a year after, came to some sort of conclusion for it. Or rather, that Ripple employees should have known that what they were doing was bad in 2018, for example, in 2013, for example, when the SEC themselves only made this conclusion in 2019. So, at least to me, that is very, very peculiar, and I think Ripple can still do a lot with this. Even though the motion was denied, it's ultimately, I think, another call for all of us to wake up a little bit and notice, hey, this stuff is very, very odd. And I keep on it. I keep at it, keep shouting it out. This stuff is just very, very odd. And to me, it's very weird how it's going. I can't help but wonder if there really isn't just... Guys, aren't you all... I'm not trying to say I'm really tired of the lawsuit, even though from some perspective I kind of am. But aren't you guys just so confused as to how it got this far and how there's so many questions which to logical people like you and I are very easy to answer? Like, okay, just give us the number. Were SEC employees trading, yes or no, right? Very easy question. Very logical question. But no, because of the freaking court system in the US, which again is not something we can change or anything like that, it can't be done. Then again, it's all these like small formalities and the bureaucracy that make things so difficult sometimes because, again, just logical thinking would suffice here to know if any SEC employee was holding XRP, then their case, it becomes quite a lot worse. Specifically, if they want to atone that some recklessness was taking place and that people of ordinary intelligence could have known that XP was a security, which they're trying to allege. All that stuff kind of crumbles, even if SEC employees couldn't have known, right? And that, again, is kind of backed up by some of the comments from all these senators and some other SEC employees that things are not clear. But this is kind of like a baseline, and I don't really get some of these parts. Then again, some things that Ripple can also use as a backbone are, like, for example, the fact that the SEC allowed Ripple to invest in MoneyGram and allowed for MoneyGram to just sell XRP. Because, again, if Ripple wants to invest in MoneyGram, it has to go through the SEC. All that stuff is just really, really peculiar. And if you add all those things up, it gets really strange. It gets really, really strange. Now, we have another small conclusion here on the side. Anthony says, check your tweets, tagged you. I'll check it out in just a second. James here said, the court directed the SEC to provide defendants any documentation supporting SEC counsel statements during the August 25th, 2021 meet and confer. That after the formal order of investigation was issued as to Ripple on March 9th, 2019, SEC employees could no longer trade XRP. So once more, the court directed the SEC to provide defendants any documentation supporting... Okay, so back in August of 2021, 25th of August, the SEC and Ripple met up. And one of the things which they concluded was that from March 9, 2019 forward, no longer could SEC employees trade XRP. Now, the court did supplement that the SEC has to give over the documents that back this stuff up. So they have to atone for how this came to be. They have to kind of explain it a little bit. You know, give the proper, you guys know what I mean, right? Give the proper documentation for how they came to that conclusion and why they can say it out loud but not show it on paper. They have to just kind of give that over. So that's, I guess, a bullish thing at the end of the day. So Canadian Chihuahua says, I've been noticing that Bitcoin and Ethereum homers tend to hate on XRP. Is this true? Yeah, for a good part, yes. For a good part, definitely so. Let's quickly see what one of the guys sent me then in the notifications. Let's see. Okay, let's see if you have your thoughts out. So Anthony says, this seems quite positive. Reading between the lines, I take from this that she is saying you don't need the records. They already admitted they weren't stopping their employees from trading XRP, so if they did or not is irrelevant. They were allowed to. No need to invade privacy. Yeah, but no. I would say that that's what she is saying indeed, but still it doesn't make any sense. Because the way that I think about that is, well, even if they were allowed, that doesn't mean you do it, right? I'm allowed to go and do some really crazy stuff. We're allowed to in theory. Doesn't mean I'm going to actually do it. You know, I can definitely go inside the store and do some crazy things. Will I though? No. Why? Because you have either some common decency, right? You're, no, I don't want to even say above average intelligence, but you just have some sort of it, or you have some sort of morale, something like that. I don't know. There's some just internal rules that you have in your body and your freaking head. I don't know. So if SEC employees were allowed to trade XRP, that's all cool and all, but did they? Because if they were allowed, but they all knew in the back of their heads that they shouldn't, because it was so clear and obvious that XP was security, then things change from the fact that if they could and they did. So the fact that they just could doesn't really show anything, because it could be that the rules weren't there. If they also did, however, it shows that they themselves did not agree fully with the determination made by the SEC currently, that it was very obvious for XRP holders and for anybody in the market to know that it was security. And that Ripple was reckless because Ripple should have known better if the SEC themselves bought or sold it. Again, I guess this zero null void thing is better, however, than it being allowed and it's showing that zero SEC employees were actually buying or selling it. Because I guess this is kind of in the middle, right? It's like, the judge just knows that from 2019 forward, people couldn't be buying XP anymore in the SEC. Yeah. Richie says she knows it's an unnecessary privacy issue as Ripple has more than enough ammo already. Yeah, I guess you kind of have a point right there, right? They already have enough fuel to get it going. That's very well said, my friend. I like that thought process. All right, by the way, guys, if you're watching this live stream right now, make sure you give it a little smack on the like button. We have about 600 people watching, about 5,500 people who pressed the stream on in total. We only have 150 likes. Make sure you press that little button. Let's get to 250 likes instantly. And it's very funny that we can always get there if you guys help out a little bit. It just helps the video perform a little bit better. And again, a lot of people did not get notifications, which is why I made a new Telegram. And that Telegram is called the DustTBC Alert Telegram. We have two. All right, I'll show you guys both of them. This one and this one. We have an Alert Telegram, which looks like this. And we have a group. This looks like this. Both the links are in the description down below if you want to join and just chat. In this one, I always chat myself, so you guys can just chat around if you really want to. And the other one is, again, I just post a little update on there. Let's see here, preview channel. You guys can check it out maybe real quick. I just post a little quick notification there every single time that I go and stream or make a video. And if you're in there, you get a notification, nothing else. I don't post any other stuff in there. It's just for the people that do not get notification from all the videos. And then if you get a notification, you can always choose whether or not you want to watch it or not, right? So, yeah. All right. Harry says the judge needs money. Yeah, those are conclusions we can't really make anything of, guys. It's very peculiar. Jungle says, if you win them all, you're probably not asking for enough. That's very much true as well. I mean, Ripple, I guess you can always say they just tried something, didn't work out. Then again, they did get some extra information, and the SEC has to supplement them with some extra juicy details. So ultimately, they tried, and I don't think it's really a bad thing. All right, guys, we're gonna end this stream. Oh, wait a minute. Jason Carter says, "Hey, Dusty, Gary Gensler is live right now. If you wanted to hear some more lies, okay, but I'm not gonna show a Gary Gensler stream on here because I'm not sure they would take the video down. I don't want to take that risk. Let's type it in, Gary Gensler. Where is he live on then? Is it just on his own profile? You can see it. Oh yeah, I guess here it says tomorrow 12 p.m. I'll be live with the Washington Post, talk about crypto. Ooh, so that's going to be really, really interesting. But I'll give you guys an update on that a little bit later. I'll retweet it quickly. So if you guys check out my Twitter, you'll be able to find it most likely. My Twitter is TheDustTBC. A link for that is also down below always. So there we go. Today, 12 p.m. Washington, D.C. time. I retweeted it. So if you want to check that out, you go right on ahead. And again, guys, if you enjoyed these updates, like them, make sure you press the like button to support the channel, and of course, subscribe to the channel. I try to get out these updates as soon as possible, as nicely as possible, as easy as possible. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are very, very close to 131.5 thousand, which is very cool. And I'll see you guys again in another update video or stream later today, guys. Thank you all so much for stopping by and saying hi.